Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Sunday. Today is going to be another Sunday Bunday because we have not completed the build for my free company house. I know this is taking a very long time to do, but that is because some of it is just sort of I'm going with the flow and decorating like sort of as I'm feeling inspired. But the parts of it are a matter of kind of experimenting, testing some things, and showing out some of the neat different tools that the game has to offer for decorating your house. I've only done a couple things since last stream on Wednesday. I did not stream on Friday due to yet another migraine. I do apologize for that. They seem to be getting worse and worse. I am okay. They just Unfortunately, a lot of my migraines are tied to my hormones, and my hormones have been very, very, very messed up in these last few months. So that's why things just seem to be getting worse as far as my migraines go. So I really do apologize for having to cancel stream yet again for yet another migraine. I had just a couple things as well. I'll probably do a few more things just to kind of add a little bit of something to the wall. I probably won't go too crazy with it just because I do have so much going on. I'll probably do a little bit more over here too, just to kind of help it not just be rainfall. Hey Plock, glad you were able to make it to stream today. Happy Sunday! Happy Sunday! How are you doing? I am going to step away from my computer for just a moment. I am still going to be talking. My baby water was just like out of reach, and I could hear my daughter still talking because she's supposed to be napping. She's supposed to be napping. She's trying to rebel against napping. Glad you were able to get some time off. Time off is always a necessity. Like, to be able to reset and relax. Like, everybody needs that time. Like, even if you absolutely love your job and your job is just everything that you've ever wanted to do, it's still a matter of you still have to have that time to be able to relax. And so glad that you get to have some time off and be able to relax a bit. A couple other things I have done on this build since Wednesday, which pretty much has been just a little bit today. Last stream, we had completely covered this corner area over here with these lofts and had them all floating. But I knew that, oh my gosh, 26 days. No. That's way too much. Oh my gosh. You deserve the time off. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you need time off. Hey Night, how's it going? How are you doing? And I have my voice this Sunday, so I am doing better than I was a week ago. If you weren't able to tune in last Sunday, hey Gaylor, I had absolutely no voice last Sunday, so it was a completely silent stream. That is totally relatable as far as the melting. Like here, we've had a whole bunch of storms hit here recently, so it's not been like super hot or anything like that here, but it has been humid as all get out. Like it is like I step outside and I feel like I'm swimming and drowning and stuff, and I'm like, this is not for me. And the thing is that now that the storms are past, the heat's gonna crank up. Like I think I was getting alerts for like 110s and above, and I'm like, what? We already hit records for tornadoes around here, like literal record numbers for tornadoes, and now we get to have super hot, like, I just have to remind myself, because, like, fortunately I don't live south or anything like that, so we don't have alligators and stuff like that, so I just have to remind myself that I don't have stuff like that. Like, I don't have alligators. I don't have alligators. I don't have alligators. Don't have alligators. But Euler, I didn't get to ask you, how are you doing on this fine and fantastic Sunday? What is... Oh. 110 is definitely way too much. Even in dry heat, I feel like 110 is way too much. And here, it's never a dry heat. It's always humid. Like, ugh. Like, it definitely could be worse as far as humidity goes. There are definitely way more humid areas than where I am at, but I'm not, like, in Arizona or anything like that. Like, going to, not this latest Fan Fest, but the Fan Fest before that was in Vegas, like, it was definitely over 110, but I was like, you know what? This isn't bad because it's a dry heat. Like, I was totally happy with the dry heat. Oh, congrats on catching up on the MSQ there, Night. Like, that is so exciting. And yes, the Dark Minimalist. Like, this Dark Minimalist, I really wish they would have came out with this one. Like, even if they didn't come out with it at the same time as the regular Minimalist, it's like, this one should have came out before the regular Minimalist. Like, this is just so much better in my opinion. But as I said in past streams, I am so biased when it comes to... Sorry about that. That was on Kick that was that bot spam was at, but it is gone. Yeah, the Dark Minimalist. Yes, I am very biased when it comes to dark. Like, I literally just painted, like, I'm actually redoing some parts of my actual house, too. Been doing a lot of painting. And, like, my den, I just painted it a really dark green. And then my entryway, which already doesn't get a whole lot of natural light, is going to be, like, a really dark blue. And my kitchen's also going to be painted darker than what it currently is. It's currently, like, really super bright. And then... my living room is also going to be painted a little bit darker, but it gets a ton of natural light. Like, so far, a lot of my walls are getting painted, and they're getting painted darker than what they currently are. I'm so biased when it comes to dark. I love the dark, and having the Dark Minimalist in game is just this is the actual just plain minimalist wall. Like, I didn't change it. And this is the flooring. It's so beautiful. I don't feel like I have to change it to the other stuff. Oh, the Shadowbringers mounts are so good. Those are so good. And oh my gosh, that is incredibly lucky to get the mount to drop the very first try. Like, that, like, never happens. Of course, I say that, and I can't remember how many months ago it was that I joined my Free Companies Farming Friday, and one of the extreme trials for this expansion, I got the mount. My first run, it was the first drop. I can't remember if that... I think that was the first extreme for this expansion. And, which, like, never, ever happens for me. Like, the last extreme with last expansion, I came very close to having to purchase that mount with totems. And I didn't see the mount drop until I had 66 totems. So it took a long time for me to even see the mount drop, let alone win the mount. Yeah, that is, like, even just to see the mount, like, even if you didn't win it, just to see the mount drop, that is insanity. Okay. So, with these pawns, so, before I started stream, I knew I wanted to add these pawns because with just having the lofts, I'll just put it on the wall for now, one of these lofts. It looked, so that's higher than what it was, but it looked weird just having the waterfall directly on to the waterfall partitions. Yes, I absolutely love the waterfall partitions. I can't help it. I have to use so many of them. The game yells at me all the time because I feel like I have to max out the 20 waterfall partitions. But with these lofts, I felt weird about having the water just fall directly onto the stone and it just not go anywhere. So I wanted to add in these ponds to... there's nothing stored on there. Of course. Of course. It wanted to try and grab a hold of one of the tabletop items I had floating up there. But I wanted to add something to catch all that water. And with that, there are a couple different pond options. There's these indoor ponds, which I currently have placed, but then I don't have any inside of this house. But there's also this eastern pond. And this eastern part, I do love the eastern pond. I actually had several of these, and it would take a lot fewer of these to place over there and glitch them up. They would stick out further. Like, I would probably only need 2. Like, because I'm not going to go all the way up to the wall. Like, I need to put something over top of this wall anyway because I have a little bit of a gap and it just seems weird. And I don't like how this window's going to end up sitting with the lofts and everything. Like, I'm going to do something with this wall. The problem with these ponds, and I'm going to switch to screen share. And let me pull up the browser tab that has it. Let's see. Why? Oh, for some reason, I have the same windows open like multiple times. So with this, I went with XGXIV's website, and I pulled up their minimum furniture height spreadsheet that they have. I'm going to copy the link. I'm going to share that chat real quick. Yes. I love those lattice partitions. They are awesome. Like, I absolutely love those partitions. They are fantastic. Like, they look so good. Excuse me, I still haven't completely bounced back with my sinuses and all that stuff. And oh my gosh, bots on kick. Okay, AI caught that one. You're absolutely welcome. I love watching people like create things and watching and looking online to see what people create. Because yeah, I've definitely been inspired a lot by what other people do. And really been inspired to try different things myself. And that was actually how I came up with the idea of doing the indoor pond, or using the pond to catch all that water, was I'd seen other people do some different things with the bottom. And like, some people have used like the Oriental garden, but I was like, well, the Oriental garden is really more sandy and everything. And I feel like it's going to be a little too bright in the space. I wanted something a little bit darker, which was why I leaned towards the indoor pond or the eastern indoor pond. And I really, really like the eastern indoor pond. The problem is it takes 5 lofts to keep it from snapping back to the ground. That is high up. And like, if you click on it, it will actually show you how high that is. And that is 1, 2, 3. That is 4 of these notches on the stage panel. So if I look at this stage panel, 1, 2, 3, 4. That is all the way up here. That is well above my head. That's pretty dang high up. And that is so much space underneath that I could potentially be losing if I were to put like steps all the way up. Now, I could utilize the space underneath and like create like some sort of reading nook or something like that. But that's not necessarily what I want to do over here. I don't necessarily want to create a crammed space by having multiple levels happening right here. That's not to knock the nooks or anything like that. Yes, like nooks can look really, really, really good. Especially like if you're working with a smaller space, like if you're working with a small house or an apartment or an FC room, nooks are fantastic. And I would totally be doing that if I were working with one of those smaller spaces. But because I am working with such a large space, I'm just going to go ahead and take the L on a little bit of lower space and just create just a slightly elevated space. And with that slightly elevated space, I'm going to utilize just the regular indoor pond partitions instead, because they only have to go up 3.5 lofts. So that's 3 notches on the stage panel. So not quite as high up. Like it has to go up further than what I currently am on my loft at the moment. Just not quite as far. So that's why I'm going with the regular ponds. I also think that these bricks can look pretty nice. I don't think you can paint these, by the way. Yeah, it's not looking like they come up as an option. Just as a quick scroll as I talk. But yeah, like I think especially with a large house, I already feel like I've got so much space I don't necessarily need to create those tight nooks. But definitely like smalls and like apartments and stuff like that, like yes. I would definitely be creating a nook. There's no need to have all that extra vertical space that you don't necessarily need. It's just that it's like I feel like this amount of space, like we've already got this huge basement that's happening. We've already got a lot of space in the upstairs. I don't necessarily need to create more space with the vertical by adding in a nook in this already humongous house. So I'm just going to take advantage of this. The other thing I want to point out with HGXIV stuff is they also have a really awesome dock. And with that dock, okay, good. I was like, those links look awfully similar, but I can see that one I just shared says document and not spreadsheets. With that dock, it talks about some different things, such as the minimum height requirement and how you can lift things up, particularly those floor snapping items, like what they're doing in the GIF that's in the document there. They're lifting up both the rectangular partition and the stage panel both. And then they're showing what happens when you don't do the rotate. You see that they both snap back down. And the thing is that even if you do the rotate, if you don't meet that minimum height, it's still going to snap back down no matter what. Even if it seems like it's not going to snap back down while you stay inside the house, the second that you leave and come back, it's going to snap back down to the floor if you don't meet that minimum height. But it also notes what pieces are the biggest pain in the ass for lifting up using this method. And I've never done the slat partition, admittedly. Never done the slat partition. These other 3 I have done. The white rectangular partition and the stage panel are actually not horrible. Specifically, if you follow the Riviera shelf like what they're doing in the GIF, you could go about as thick as that little lip. The factory partition, as I said in a past stream, holy shit, that is the biggest pain in the ass ever. Because, and I'll go to, not my private chambers. I'm not on the character that did it. It's one of my alts. So I have to go to a specific chamber, and here we go. So, like, as you can see, I sort of did like I lofted some things to take advantage of that vertical space again. Like I said, there's not a whole lot of space in apartments, FC rooms, because FC rooms and apartments are the exact same size. It's just that one is in its own separate building. You're not gonna, like the apartment, you're not gonna lose it if you leave your free company or anything like that, whereas your free company is very specifically tied to your free company. It's tied to that free company house, but it is also cheaper to get a free company room. But they are the exact same size, exact same storage limits and all that stuff. But there's not a ton of space to work with, so I did take advantage of the vertical space by adding in lofts to create extra levels. But I lifted up these factory partitions, and they cannot go up the full width of that Riviera shelf thickness. They can only go, it's a little bit thinner than that. That bottom bar, that's the amount that it could go up at a time. So lifting these up to be at that point, because I didn't want, like, I wanted this to be like a factory style dance club. I didn't want people to just randomly be able to walk out onto the floor. So I had to lift them up just a little tiny bit at a time. And it takes forever to do that. Most everything else, aside from those 4 pieces, you can lift up a little bit or more efficiently. But those 4 partitions in particular, especially the factory one, expect to be patient. Expect to curse a few times, even if you are the most patient person in the world. Like, it's... yeah, it's a pain. It is so painful. But other things, like you could potentially, there we go. That's the video I want. You could potentially utilize the wooden loft and just go with different thicknesses. Like, it even notes in that guide. It even says that with your partitions, like typically you should use the Riviera bookshelf. However, with the white screen, that one's unique because of its weird surface area. You can use the shelf. I think I used the shelf on mine. But they typically recommend going ahead and using the wooden loft to hit that box a little bit more efficiently. Either way works with that white screen as far as a partition goes, but partitions, yeah, just expect to have to be patient, especially that one. That one. And don't forget to rotate, because if you don't rotate, it will snap back down, like, immediately. It just will. It just will. It just will. A question that I got out of stream is this layout mode. This layout mode, I am a mouse and keyboard player. So honestly, I never thought about the fact of having this layout mode pop up. But if you're a controller player, like, you may have to go into the character configurations and toggle into your mouse and keypad mode in order to turn that on. Yes, console control players, I'm sorry, RIP, RIP. Especially for anybody that doesn't have a mouse and keyboard, because, yeah, doing any sort of advanced glitching was like, ugh. I'm like, it's already painful enough to do on mouse and keyboard as it is, but having, like, to have to toggle that on, like, not a big deal. But I'm sure just to navigate through all of this and just do some of the different things, my brain does not want to comprehend trying to do that with a controller. Like, no. My brain just says absolutely not. Like, I already, like, this game, my brain already does not want to comprehend a controller. Okay. So, here while I'm glitching, so multiple things are being moved. And like right now, it doesn't want to let me remove that because it grabbed a hold of that tabletop item. We'll go that tabletop item. It grabbed it again. Damn it. It's fine. I don't even care about that tabletop item right now. Like, I don't think the game understands how little I care about that tabletop item as far as this glitching goes. And the reason I noted the notches on the stage panel, and the reason I did that was because, like, when I was going through the whole minimum height thing, damn it, it snapped back down. I got too ambitious. The reason I noted that was because and you'll notice other things are coming up too. So long as I don't rotate them, they'll snap back down. So I am not too worried about the fact that these waterfall partitions are good. But yes, noting that is really good for getting a visual for how far you need to go up instead of having to put those wooden lofts or the Riviera shelves underneath of it. Especially if you're like just working with one or two wooden lofts. So that way, it's like I'm already about 1. I need to definitely go up further. Because I noted that I need to be up about 3 notches. And who knows, as I go through other parts of my design, I may end up changing my mind as far as having the whole nook underneath of everything. Okay. So that takes care of lifting up those ponds. Now, anything that I want to keep lifted up, make sure to do the little rotatey on. And I like to have the grid snap on. That way I could just toggle it once and then toggle it back. Yes, changing your mind so many times while decorating is 100% normal. It is definitely normal. I'm not going to do the toggle on the waterfalls. I do want those to go back down. Because I know that they are, if I run upstairs, like, I don't want those to stay there. I don't want that tree to stay there. I want those to go back down. But the ponds that I lifted up, I do want those to go. But you'll notice that, like, even as I'm going in and out of the menu, it's not snapping back down. So I need to make sure I leave and then come back in order to get it to come back down. Oh no! Why are you not going back down, waterfall partition? Oh, it's because I accidentally clicked on you. It's fine. I will manually move you back down. Silly waterfall partition. Go back down. Go down here. Actually, that might be... I may have accidentally gone 4 up instead of 3 up. Let me go back to that image. Yeah, I went 4 up. I didn't count the little notch that's down there at the bottom. Let me put that in my inventory so it's not my way. 1, 2, 3. I went a whole a whole extra notch up. So that's about where the other one would go. Which, honestly, I'm kind of glad that I did, because, like, I was literally just thinking, man, even that kind of looks a little cramped up there. So I'm kind of glad that I did that. So let me lower back down. Rotate those. And there we go. So now I definitely think, like, unless my free company had, like, we have quite a few tall races in my free company. Not just with my character. We have quite a few Viera. We have quite a few Hroths. We have Melabras. Like, we've got tall characters, so I don't know that I necessarily want to create a loft at that height, for instance, because that's pretty low. Like, even with my Viera, I mean, her ears, like, I can make it under there, but my head gets a little choppied. Like, that's... If you're wanting to loft, that wouldn't be a good height. I would lift it up a little bit more. But I think as far as, like, a regular space goes, I think that on its own, it's fine as a regular space. And I'm going to go ahead and have it, like, show up a little, like, have this a little bit through it, even though it's going to take me a little bit longer, because I could probably only hit one at a time with these, potentially. Excuse me. My sinuses just have not bounced back quite completely. I may only be able to hit one pond at a time, but I want to make sure I hit the right height. So I'm going to have the pond behind it showing through. Just so I don't get a little or too ambitious, I'm only going about as thick as one of these bricks for lifting it up. I don't know if that's the minimum amount that it could be or the amount that you have to go for lifting that up necessarily. I just don't want to accidentally lift it up too far. And again, I'm only going to rotate the items that I for sure want to go up. There we go. About a brick. Now I'm getting a little ambitious and sloppy. So hopefully it doesn't snap back down. Okay, that's a little too high. Rotate this one. There we go. I feel like this one, yeah, went up just a little too high, actually. Looks like that pixel is just a little bit higher. And some of these items, as I'm lifting up, I might also keep them lifted up, but definitely not all of them, because I don't want, like, for instance, that table. I really just have the table placed just for the purposes of the greenery that's happening on top of it. I don't really want the table to be showing. Okay. And also same with the dome and trees. Like, I really just want the tree. I don't really want I don't want that corner sticking out. Like, that looks a little ridiculous. Okay, it looks like that's pretty dang close. It's just like a pixel too low. There we go. Rotate. And one more. And it grabbed onto something. Yep, another plant. So, if the frame rate in your house is terrible, it could be due to the number of items that you have currently stored, particularly animated items such as all of the waterfalls and all that stuff. You may have to adjust some of your settings so that way you don't have quite as many animations happening within various scenes. For instance, let me lift this up just a little bit further. Like, you might want to have it not show like quite as many like reflections and shadows and stuff. Yes, I think the stored items can also play an effect. I don't think they play as much of an effect as anything that is placed. Because the placed items, since they're like actively rendering and all that stuff, the placed items. Yes, that is. Let's see. Okay. So you might have to put store them elsewhere, such as like on your retainers or something like that. But then you could also, you might have to not that one. System configuration. Like right now, like it's hard for me to gauge a lot of stuff just because like I have everything maxed out. Um, and that's even while streaming and everything. I'm still really high up. But I think like some of the things you could uh, reduce, like some of the textures that are showing. The the movement physics shouldn't be doing things with the housing, but like changing like water, for instance. Like I have a lot of water features happening in the house. Um, which is why, like for instance, they put that cap on all the waterfall partitions because they realize that takes a lot of graphics just to have waterfall partitions. Same goes even for water fountains like this one has a lot going on with it. The ponds can still have a decent amount of glare and water refraction happening. These waterfalls, these tiny waterfalls, like anything with a lot of animation that is happening with it, having too many of those kind of items can really lower down that frame rate quite a bit. Because like right now I'm at 75-ish inside of the house. Outside, I'm at almost 90. So like even with my house, there definitely is quite a dip happening with all that graphics. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, it's like definitely like grass quality probably not going to affect the inside and stuff, but like having glares and tessellations, all of this kind of stuff, like if you have those settings set up too high, it definitely is going to make that frame rate plummet quite significantly. So fine tuning that could be so helpful. My graphics card is like several years old now, but I have a beast of a graphics card, which is why it's able to handle all of my stuff at the frame rate that it is at. But definitely, if you've got a bunch of features like this happening, definitely need to like dial it back on in those settings. Because I think like even with animations like these plates, not nearly as bad because like my shadow isn't showing up on that dance floor and stuff, but it's like those water reflections. That takes a lot of graphical settings with those reflections. These ones might not be too bad because these tubs are older, but just having that ripple effect happening in the tub, like that's put a decent amount of work on that graphics card. I don't know as much about like the TV or anything like that, but yes. Yes, shiny panels. Okay. All right, so my table snapped back down the way that I wanted them to. I may lift up like a couple things. I don't think I'm going to worry too much about lifting up too many things. As far as the plants go, I think those I will probably primarily put the ones that I had in there back in. Let me actually grab, because this... Let me grab what I want. It's the other part of housing is like, let me grab what I actually want to grab. I was like that. You couldn't really see it all that well, so that's why I was like, I want to at least pull that out because it's too cool of an item to not have it really showing. That's the thing about the waterfall partitions, is that they're constantly in the way if you put other items in there with them. Okay. So I sunk these, I don't even remember what these flowers are called, but they're from Raktika. I sunk them too far back because I thought I was going to lift them up, and then I ended up not lifting them up. I sunk them so far back because with lifting them up, I was like, well, I don't want the planter to show, but I do want the flower to show, which is why I'm bringing them back forward, because right now with how far they're sinking back, you can't really see them all that well. Whereas when I bring them forward and have, like, having that nice glow there, like, I feel like that's, I like having the glow from these planters. Let me, oh, it had it for a second. It had it for like a split second. Damn it, game. I just want, I want, don't want those. I want that one. I guess I could stand to move one of those. They don't need to be like right on top of each other. Heck, I don't even know if the green one even needs to be there now. Of course, now I can't even get the... Yeah, why do I have to be all the way over here just to get this green one? It's ridiculous. Okay. Let me actually rotate this. There we go. That looks a little bit better. Yeah, move meadow partitions. That way I can grab, yes. There we go. That meadow partition back in there. Of course, now I want the meadow partition. And now I can't. Okay, there we go. I was like, and now I can't get the meadow partition. There we go. That's better. Okay. Get these waterfalls back in here. And I think there's, yes, there is. I was like, I'm pretty sure there's like one more of these Raktika planters just hiding away over here. Okay, I am going to move this lamp because that was sitting really far down and not contributing anything. And there's one more like right there. Don't want you right now, waterfall partition. I want this lamp. Same with that lamp. There we go. I almost forgot to put this waterfall partition back. I was like looking at the ceiling line and I'm like, why is this random bar happening right here? It's because that waterfall partition wasn't put back. Whoops. The only thing that I think I do like the, excuse me, I have to mute for just a moment. Sorry, did not want to give you guys coughing ASMR. What I did like about the height that I had before on the ponds that I think would look really nice with the eastern ponds is to have it level with this, but having it this way I think is going to make this waterfall part be like a nice little ledge for over the stairs instead of having to try to glitch something up there to be a railing. Instead, these little waterfalls here are going to act a little bit more like natural railing. And I mean, either way, this window, I'm just going to go ahead and store it because it doesn't make sense. It's going to end up being cut off, so something else is definitely going to have to go there to just generally cover up that wall, which, not a big deal. We have awesome Phasmoscapes and other partitions and stuff that are really, really, really cool. So I think that covering that up and still tying in with everything is still going to be pretty easy to do. Though I'm not necessarily done with the space there, I am going to go ahead and get these placed back in, and those are too high. We're going to see about how high I need to put these. Okay. So I'm going to place it just above the second notch. That way I can take advantage of the grid snap. Just to make my life a little bit easier for now. And I'm going to place it this way instead of placing it directly on the wall. So that way I don't have to use quite so many lofts. Is go counter placement on. Just above the second notch. And I'm going to place 2 on here just to make this process go a little bit faster. Nope. And I could even come out further with these, so that way I don't have to use as many lofts that way either. Like I could come out to like I could just touch those, which I might do. That way I'm not using as many items. Let go. I don't care if you grab onto that one. Just let go of those 2. Okay. Just above the second. Just above the second. I went below the second instead of above. Still below. Sometimes grid snap is weird. There we go. Okay. Whoop, 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 whoop. There we go. Now I'll toggle that off, or I'll make sure I wiggle that one too because I don't want to grab onto that. Okay. Sorry about the sniffle there. I said I have not quite completely bounced back. I may just keep it to 1 loft deep instead of going super deep with this. And, okay. Okay, the height of 1 stair works. 1 step is fine. And I'll probably place something. I might try to see if I could have some sort of tabletop to catch the water that's happening over here. So that way that doesn't seem weird. That, or I might just pull this out just a little bit away from the stone, so that way the water's properly falling down. And then to make this process a little bit faster, what I am doing is I am utilizing the fact that, like, I just pull it up to next to it, and then I'm turning on the toggle grid snap, so that way it grabs a hold of the item, because these steps are wall mounted. Then I'm moving the stage panel to make sure that it actually grabs a hold of it. Then just moving the steps to where I want them. And even with this method, even if you're not lifting, you still have to remember to you have to toggle off the counter placement, wiggle, then move the stage panel away. And even if I'm not lined like there, I'm not lined all the way up like that. Those stairs still look like they're floating. It still grabbed a hold of it. Okay, these are set up higher than the others. That's why. I was like, why am I not seeing these other steps? Because I had them up too high. Okay. Move this over here. And then I'll have like a small thing to cover up the wall here. Okay. And I do want to add some of those flowers back into all of this, like this partition and stuff. I'm not going to do it right now, just because I am going to be doing some more glitching of some things, and I just know that I'm going to end up accidentally grabbing stuff with the panels. I did go ahead and just put the lofts back in, so that way I could see how everything was going to come out. and better visualize everything and sort of get a game plan for exactly what all I want to put on top of these lofts and all that stuff. I'm going to mute my mic again. Excuse me. Sorry. Let's see. I know I have some Phasmoscapes. And I think that when I was going through, I think the Earth's Fount one is going to look really good in that area because of how green and lush it is too. And the good thing about many of the Phasmoscapes is you don't have to lift them up too terribly much in order to get the effect that you want. So I'm just going to do a little bit of lifting on this to get it up to that height to about here, and make sure I position it so that way you can't see the edges, but then I'm also going to utilize some partitions to hide the top part because I definitely don't want that white framing showing. So for now, this loft that I placed, I am going to move it out of the way. And I am going to get the my Earth's Fount placed here. Now there are quite a few other ones too, like the Aurora one, also absolutely stunning. Like those beautiful green lights are so pretty. The Royal Menagerie, I think, is one that I have that's extra from my apartment. That's the one I use in my apartment. It has a lot of warm tones and stuff with it. It's also really, really pretty because the Royal Menagerie, it focuses more on that beautiful garden that is there. It's beautiful. The Ruby Sea also has like a beautiful sunset look with it. And there are quite a few other Phasmoscapes, especially like those of you that are Monster Hunter fans. They came out with several Monster Hunter Phasmoscapes. But I think for the purposes of over here, the Earth's Fount one is just, it's going to look really, really good. That garden really is like really super pretty. Like, so that way I don't lose being able to sell that one if I want to sell it. I'm just going to search. Like that garden is just, it's stunning. Like I think it is an absolutely beautiful garden. And with the warm colors that I have in my apartment, this was just, I felt like this tied into it so well. I don't think that the Ruby Sea one was out yet. The Ruby Sea one is also pretty good, but I really like the garden so much. They both have that similar sunset kind of vibe happening as far as the time of day and the color of the sky goes. But it's so pretty. And yes, the Starry Sky one is absolutely awesome too. I have the Starry Sky one just above the entrance here for the Free Company house. And the reason I went with the Starry Sky one there was because down in the basement, I also have the Blue Moon Phasmoscape happening because of having the Loporits. I was like, I felt like I had to make a nod to the moon and all of that stuff. As you can see, I used some partitions and stuff to hide the white framing around that one too. Honestly, of like all the Phasmoscapes, the moon one is the quote unquote biggest pain in the butt, and like, oh my gosh, you kick bots, you are seriously killing me today, bots. You stupid kick bots. Like, let's see. Oh, good. Okay, so the AI mod is at least being good over there on Kick because it deleted that one too. Just took me a minute to find what I did with that tab of Kick because it's not with all of my other tabs because I usually use Chrome, but because I use a VPN, Kick doesn't really like me using a VPN. It messes up, so I have to use Firefox, and then it's like, okay, you're cool. Um, so that's why I have Kick somewhere else, and yeah. Let's see. So with the other Phasm escapes, like there's so many. Like so many Animal Crossing ones now. They're really, really cool. And then they also have the housing areas. I didn't really want to do the housing areas because like I'm not a huge fan of Goblet and I'm in Goblet. And yes, I would like Amrot, Elpis, like those would be absolutely amazing. And if they could give us housing with the Crystarium, that would be also amazing. Costa del Sol, especially if you're going tropical, is like really, really, really cool. More of the Oriental stuff, Kagane looks awesome. I never wanted to do Sea of Clouds because of doing the Society quest. I would rather never go to Sea of Clouds ever fucking again. But like the Aurora, Blue Moon, and the Earth's Fount are seriously some of my absolute favorites. And I think especially with how green that area is coming out, I think that because the Earth's Fount one looks pretty much like that, doesn't necessarily matter the time of day, whether it's day or night. I think that's going to tie in really, really well with everything. So that's why I'm going to go with that one for this particular class. Yes. Ugh. And you have to go around so many different places, and it's even more of a pain in the ass if you don't have flying. Fortunately, I had flying by the time I got there, but like that one, I could not imagine doing all that crap if needing to unlock flying. Dang it. I got too ambitious. It's like, go back to my inventory, please. Thank you. Okay. Let's get this raised up just a little bit more. Yeah, that is totally fair. I waited on Society Quest back when I was going through everything with Shadowbringers. I waited on those societies. The Stormblood ones are totally, totally, totally worth it. Like I think those Stormblood societies are so good. But the Heavensward ones, like they definitely fixed some things with Heavensward that were issues in A Realm Reborn. But they're so spread out that's like it's ugh. Oh, these white half partitions are not what I'm looking for. I want to say it's the open partition. Yes. Whoops. Okay, it is at the shop. That's good. I absolutely love the Kojin. Especially their reward. I think their reward is really, really awesome. The Anata is also great. Especially years ago, we didn't have all of these glamour pieces that gave you the false nails. Like right now, my glamour, like I'm not even using false nails. I have these old school claw things. Like if I recall correctly, these ones are the these are just crafter ones from Mamie. But there's the caster version of these gloves come from the hard mode of A Realm Reborn dungeons, and they took me forever to get. But I forgot this one had the bronze metal instead of the silver metal. That went with this outfit a lot better, since this one had more of a bronzy gold accents instead of not quite so much silver. But those false nails, pretty much you only had those really long claws from the gold saucer, or you had the false nails from the Anata. And getting those false nails from the Anata was so totally worth it. Yes, they totally should have added more aetherites to help, particularly in the Sea of Clouds, because it is such a pain in the ass navigating the Sea of Clouds. Like I hated navigating there so much. Okay, it's like right now I don't love how that partition is cut down on everything. So I am going to raise up the partition as well. Yes, the false nails, they add so much to glamours. Like something as simple as fake nails just really elevates everything and adds a nice amount of color, I feel like. Like it's totally worth it to get false nails. They added so many other hand items to the game that have essentially the false nails already built in them. But they have the extra layers of having gloves and bracelets and all that stuff, whereas the false nails, it's literally just the nails, which is so nice, I think. I'm just trying to get this to... Oh, there we go. I just got the verdant partition a little bit closer to the wall because I was like, I don't like this gap. Nope, that's not what I want. Oh my god, kickbots. Fortunately, AI mod is freaking getting that, but I don't want to have to use an AI mod just because these bots on Kick are absolutely freaking ridiculous. This is like, piss off bots. Like, it makes me really want to just stop streaming to Kick with how many bots there are. Like, this is ridiculous. And I'll just dye those partitions black, I think. Or not black, but brown. I don't think I'm gonna get... Okay, there we go. That's better. That's better. I just need to scoot it back a little bit so that's properly lined up before I start lifting everything. Yeah, I absolutely hated doing all the Sea of Clouds stuff. Oh, I put it too far back because that white's going to show up on top. So I want to make sure I pull it back out just a little bit because I don't want that frame showing up at all. Oh, I am so sorry. Definitely take something for that headache. Good. Glad to hear that you are staying hydrated. Because that is definitely the number one thing. Yeah. Yes, continue to stay hydrated. Take a break if you need to take something for your head. Don't be like me. Don't be too stubborn to take something. Do what you need to do to get rid of that headache and relax and chill. And have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. Thanks for joining me tonight. All right, let's get this partition lifted up so that we can still see this beautiful Earth's fount. I might even we're gonna see. I want to make sure that I don't lift it up too much because, like, see, I'm going through the wall here. I might take advantage of the fact that I'm going through the wall, like, a little bit, and almost make it like a little ledge there. That, or I do have partitions there anyway, so it's not a huge deal that I'm going through the wall. Or I'm going through the ceiling, not through the wall, going through the ceiling. So I might just lift it up a little bit further just to make it seem more like a window. And I'll make some adjustments here to cover that up. Instead of just making a table back there, because I don't think I was going to be able to make it look like a very good table. So that's why I'm like, I'll just cover it up. And honestly, look at the bookshelf. It looks okay. I do need to back this partition up a little bit. Go this way a little bit with it. So that way the wall decor blends a little bit better. There we go. Oh, shit. Forgot to rotate. I gotta make sure I rotate. And then the Phasma Escape too, because the Phasma Escape I did alter the height or where the Phasma Escape was at. I'm gonna dye. I'm just gonna dye them black to go with the current wall. And then just to see that finalized look, I'm going to just above the third. Oh, that's just above the fourth. Just above the third. That's lower. Or I guess not lower. I guess I do have it in the right spot. Okay. Okay. Move this back. Just so we can see this finalized look. Okay, so I need to pull this out a little bit further. Whoop, 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 whoop. Okay, there we go. So that way, it's not the most, like, these partitions are not the most beautiful partitions, but they do create that nice windowed effect around a Phasmoscape like this, so that way you don't see all the extra decals on the Phasmoscape. And it looks a little bit more like a window. You can add other things to it to also help with the window effect, such as, for instance, waterfall partitions. In case it wasn't obvious, I love waterfall partitions. But adding the waterfall partition could help pull away from the vertical lines that are happening with the graphics. So that way it looks at least a little bit more natural. Now, I need to scoot it over a bit. Scooted it over too far. Because otherwise I need to use multiples. To hide the fact that it doesn't go all the way over, I could adjust the those open partitions to come a little bit more narrow. But you could also do some other things, such as putting plants in front of there. The open partition technically counts as a table, so you could even, on the tabletop, place a plant. Place a plant. And take advantage of that tabletop. I'm going to go the route of making an adjustment to how I have my my open partitions. Because I didn't quite have them even. It's not too bad lifting up the open partitions compared to other things. So redoing this glitch is not bad at all. Neither is putting the loft back, which is why I keep doing that particular glitch. Like, I'm like, floating a loft is nothing compared to some of the other things. Excuse me. Especially when you're mouse and keyboard. As I said earlier in stream, like, I couldn't imagine trying to do this with a controller. Like, that just seems like a nightmare to me. But there's also a lot in Final Fantasy that I don't think I would do very well with a controller. Come on, lift up. There we go. And the waterfall partition, I don't necessarily care this time as to whether it ended up lining up or not, or floating up or not. I really just care about the Phasmoscape and the two open partitions. Like the waterfall can snap back down for all I care. Actually might even force it to come back down if I can get my cursor on it. It's like, I think it's the SPAC-most item. There we go. And I want to make sure I set it far enough back that it doesn't come forward. And then you can also still give this like window treatments. Like I think that will also help with the effect. And by window treatments, I mean like curtains. Like something that you would do to a window in real life. Oh no. Oh no, now I do care. Because I noticed that this wood shows up at the top. And if I scoot it over too far, it looks weird. Damn it. I guess I could just always place a second one. Oh, nope. I can't place a second one. I hit my limit. I hit the limit. I hit the limit of 20. Okay. I could also just not use it. Yeah, so if you're placing things like the waterfall partition, it says you can't place, or can't place that item, can't place that item, can't place that item. Like, I'm going to place one. Like, it's either going to be a, okay, I didn't hit the limit. Okay, I can actually place all of these by the looks of things. But it could totally be an item limit that you've hit, because you could only place 20 of them because they don't want you destroying everybody's frame rates. Because yeah, these are they take quite a bit of frame rates just to run these partitions. Like, takes a lot. Because of all of those reflections and everything. Okay, scoot these back because, like at the top there, it's like going through. I just need it to be like slightly further back. Is that the furthest back I can get it? Okay. I was like, there was like ever so slightly some water coming through at the very top. And the main reason I went ahead and used 2, even though I just redid the glitching of the open partitions so that I only had 1, was because at the very top I was like, you know what, I want that trim to properly show up there. So okay. And now I can add things like curtains and stuff like that. So you could do like the simple curtain, for instance. The simple curtain will add a window-like effect, for instance. And you could also like add other things around it to help frame up the image, or frame up the window. As I said, put flowers in there. All kinds of different things that will really help elevate it, make it seem a little bit more natural. The main reason for the waterfall partitions is to help draw the eye away from the horizontal lines that are happening, because it is a Phasmoscape. It's supposed to look a little bit more like a digital rendering of something. So adding in the waterfall in front of it takes that element away and helps it look a little bit more natural. Okay. Okay, let's see. I'm just going to take a moment here to ban these bots. They're getting annoying on Kick. There we go. Like, seriously, 6 bots? 6 bots? What is this? Like, I've never had it be this bad. Like, this is absolutely and totally ridiculous. Like, I don't want to get rid of Kick, but if the bots are going to be that bad, and especially when there's not something other than it's... I'll have to look and see if there's some sort of... There's something that I can use to better auto-mod these bots, because it's ridiculous. It is absolutely 100% ridiculous. Okay. That looks alright. I might adjust these plants that I have later. Do I not have a second one of those? Do I really not? I only have the sumptuous? Okay. I mean, it is what it is, but I was like, I thought I had more of those. Okay. Whoops, I do want the grids, or the counter snap on. I just don't want... the, Oh. What just happened here? Okay. It's because I don't have it going all the way back like I did the others. Which is fine. I'm going to... So that way I don't accidentally grab the... these lofts, because these lofts are... The snap side is outward. I'm going to twist these sideways. And then I will find the height that I want for these lamps. Without apparently grabbing stairs. Freaking steps. Oh, God. See, I said that I would get frustrated with decorating at some point or another. Okay. I'm gonna spin it the other way, because silly me. Didn't even consider the steps. You can try to go at like different angles too. Like maybe if I just go at this angle, I won't grab stuff. There we go. Add a little bit of light into there. Okay. And need to find something to help with the water flow that's happening right here. Hopefully I can find something that's going to be more like a tabletop to help with covering the flooring right there up. Not so much because of the stone. The stone is perfectly fine. It's these two little waterfalls. Might be a good place for a couple planters, for instance. But I want to see if I could potentially find something else that looks like it would be good for catching all that water. Kind of like how putting the ponds at the bottom of this here to help with that water flow a bit. I don't even know why I decided to click on the iron. The iron isn't going to do much of anything. Neither is this wood partition. Like the logs just aren't going to do much of anything for me. I think what I'm thinking of is an outside thing. Hey Neris, how's it going? I don't know if the chat will show it for you over there on Kick, but like the Kick chat has been nothing but bots so far. And me banning bots on Kick. Gotta love all of those dang bots. Oh, hey, actually, that's a more interesting planner than I thought it was going to be. I ignored the Yomor planner before, but it actually looks pretty interesting. That planner could work. Oh, it's a floor planner. Ah, gotcha. Yeah, I was 100% sure if it was going to show history or not. I didn't think it would, but I was like, maybe it will, and maybe you'll see, like, oh my gosh, yeah. Like, usually the bots aren't, like, I feel like they haven't been as bad, but for some reason today, the bots have come out in full force. Just, like, they're just like, no. We're going to constantly put things on here that, like, they're not even sneaky. They're not even sneaky whatsoever. Let's see here. I don't even know why I'm looking at that. It wasn't going to show up there. Miscellaneous. I'm almost positive. Oh, it's mahogany aqueduct. That's exactly what I was thinking of. And it's a floor item, of course. But I'm pretty sure. Chompy cat. I don't have any mahogany lumber. That's interesting that I don't have any mahogany. But I do have, yeah, I've got plenty of lignum vitae. And I'm pretty sure the mahogany, you could just, okay, yeah, I've got plenty of mahogany. And then I should have plenty of underground spring water. Oh, I don't have any underground spring water. Oh! Excuse me. Sorry. That must have been one of those things that I had a ton of, and then I decided to sell it to try to make space. Damn it. How dare I try to make space on my retainers. Okay, mahogany lumber. It was like 500 and something. There it is. I'm going to see how much it is on the market board, see if it's actually worth going out for anything like that. Okay, because I don't think I need much. Yeah, I only need 5. Excuse me, go back over there. I'm surprised I actually didn't remember where these were at because there was a little bit where the leaves that I was doing used a lot of this particular water, and if I ran out, I would go get it myself sometimes. Most of the time I tried to keep my retainers doing that, so. Ooh, I was dead to the world at 3 a.m. There's no way I would have been awake. Like, that's a no. 3 a.m. is generally a no for me. Okay, it said... May have to change my HUD so that I can actually see the nodes. Oh, there's one. There we go. For a second, I thought I was going to have to update or switch my HUD back to my default instead of having it in the in my house decorating mode, because I was like, I don't have my mini map even showing. But it's all good. It is all good. Okay, so we need to have Ligna Vitae. And what else was it? I need 4 of those, and I need 6 mahoganies. Like, surprise, surprise, another kickbot that got the ban. The ban. Okay. I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure, like, after looking at these, I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's actually a low level craft. Okay. Let's see here. Now that the Hogty Aqueduct. Doesn't need to be high quality, but it's just the macro I had on hand. Okay. So now this partition needs to get out of my way. So that way I can put this mahogany aqueduct over here, and it will be my water catcher for the waterfalls that are happening over here. And we gotta glitch those up too. Okay, there's the hitbox for that. Oh no. Don't tell me this is going to be one of those items that's a pain in my ass. Okay. Let's try this again. Okay. Okay, there we go. It's not as bad. Okay. I just did not place it very well. Because of where I had the stage panel. So again, it's lifting up the those fountains. I'm not going to rotate the fountains because I don't want those going up. Damn it. Like, I don't want them to stay up after I'm done with all the lifting. But the aqueduct that I'm actually lifting up, that one is going to get the rotate treatment. So that way it will lock up. And note that other things that you might be hitting the hitbox of other things too. So like right now I am hitting the hitbox of those pawns that we just glitched. So if you hit those hitboxes and adjust where they're at, you're going to have to redo the twist when you get them back to where they are or where you want them to be. Because otherwise they're going to snap back to the ground. And I lost those pawns. Turn the grid snap back off. And it's a really weird angle to go from this direction, but I'm just trying to go brick by brick since I grabbed those pawns. It seems like the aqueduct is okay with that amount. So I'm trying to use that as my unit of measure. And it looks like I went a little too high. So I need to lower this back down a little bit. And now I went too low. Let's try just a little bit higher. That's way too high. That's way too low. I need a happy medium. Okay. Need to lower it down a little bit. Okay. And looking at the pond, it's pretty close. I just need to adjust by like a pixel. So actually, because I could see the aqueduct a little bit better, I'm going to try to go paste upon that. I end up lowering it. And now it's like a little too high. Too low again. that is probably going to be as close as I'm going to get. Get out of here, you stupid bots. Like, let's not be annoying. Okay. There's the height that I want. It's about there. And now we have a water aqueduct that's properly catching the rest of the water for these waterfalls. Whoops, I don't want to remodel the interior. What I didn't look up is to see if I could actually paint the aqueduct. In my opinion, it wouldn't have made sense to not be able to paint the aqueduct, but you never know. You never know sometimes. It could be interesting to have it tie in with the top of the bricks that are happening with these ponds. But I think that stands out a little too much. Instead, I'm going to try to have it blend in a little bit more with the bricks. And though it makes sense to try to go with like a gray, I'm going to go with, I think I'm going to go with the loam brown. That way it's a little bit darker and doesn't stand out quite as much. The shale brown is definitely too light. The mole brown works pretty well. With these browns, they are definitely not as warm as some of these other browns. These other browns are definitely very, very warm, whereas these are much more muted, which is why I really, really like them. Whoops. Actually paint it. So that way it doesn't stick out quite so much in that spot. Okay, and back to this silly thing that decided that it was just going to come off of the wall when I was glitching. Take advantage of some of the other greenery to hide the post a bit. Help it feel a little bit more natural and not just like a randomly floating piece of lighting. And then to get the other items that I didn't want to float upward to snap back down and to make sure I got everything taken care of the way that it should be taken care of. I step out, step back in. The fountains went back down, the plants went back down, the table went back down. And as you can see, doing that ended up showing that, hey, this does not look good right now. It looked good when I had things floated. It just doesn't look good without those other items floating where I didn't want them floating. So I need to find a different spot for that. So let me try lowering it back down. And naturally, in my haste, I'm going to accidentally grab some stairs that I don't want to be grabbing. Because, you know, why not? Who wouldn't want to accidentally grab stairs as they're quickly moving a partition? Like, why wouldn't I want it to snap there? Okay. So we definitely have not. I was hoping I would have finished the interior today. I really was. I had set my goal as finishing the interior, and it turned out it was just more glitching stuff over here, and still not having the entire interior finished. Um, I definitely want to finish up this area over here during next stream. I'm going to add a little bit of seating and a couple other things to this lofted area. Fill in a little bit more space. I will probably do something else. Like, I don't know that I want this right as you enter the house. I feel like it kind of takes away from the entry a little bit. So I will probably do something else instead of that bog fountain and get rid of that. Whether it be I even just shift it over or whatever I end up doing there. And then I definitely want to do something to add more to this kitchen area to help really elevate it with my last few interior items, and then do a couple of things with the exterior. Hopefully, I will be a little bit faster with some of the glitching to actually get done with this soon, like sometime soon, because I know we don't want me to be doing all of my streams this housing glitch. Like, we definitely want to see more boba again sometime soon, and we want to see some other content in the game, like battle content and things like that, instead of me just doing housing stuff. So hopefully we'll have this done and wrapped up within the next stream or two, so that way we could get back to those things. If you've not already joined the Discord server or the Fluxer server, I highly recommend joining those. Those have yes, like, housing and glamour are true in game for sure, because like some of these housing items, for instance, the Phasmoscape that I have in the basement. Oh, apparently I haven't checked in on one of my retainers in the last week. So I'm no longer selling with that retainer. This one comes from one of the extreme trials in Stormblood, which nowadays, especially if you're in game, another retainer I haven't checked on in a week. If you're in game, pretty quick and easy to unsync that particular trial and get that Phasmoscape quickly. Originally, when I was getting that Phasmoscape, it was generally you wanted to do it in a group of people, because otherwise you were going to get meteors, and it was kind of hard if you didn't properly coordinate the meteors. Like, I said kind of hard, like you couldn't do it without coordinating. But some of these items you really can't get until you've really hit some of that in-game stuff, unless you want to spend a lot of gil. And glamours, I mean, you can't really do some of the glamours unless you are doing Savage content. So lots of in-game stuff, even with housing and everything. Oh, and I definitely want to cover up that boogle for that door entryway. But thank you all so much for tuning in the stream with me. I know that these streams have been a lot more chill and a lot more relaxed. I mean, not to say that I do any hard content. Like, I'm not over here saying that I do ultimates or anything like that. Like, I totally get that. I have not been doing those kind of streams or anything like that. But they've definitely, I mean, there's not really any action going on. Like the closest to action we've gotten is a couple times that I've been cursing about various things. I've spent more time cursing at the kickbots than anything this stream, than even cursing at some of the glitching that is supposed to be done, as far as everything here goes. But thank you all so much for tuning in today. Thank you all so much for your patience again too. As I said, like I'm so sorry about having to cancel stream on Friday. Like I said, my hormones have been all over the place, and my migraines typically are tied to my hormones, which is why my migraines have been so incredibly worse than, like, I've always been prone to migraines, but they've been really, really bad this past year. And I do take medication and stuff for it, to help get it under control, but there's also only so much within my realm of possibilities that I can do. So I thank you all so much for your patience. I know it's never fun to hear that someone is canceling their stream, especially if it's like, okay, you plan to tune in and all that stuff. Like I get it. And I'm so sorry. And I'm so grateful that you all are so patient with me. But with that, I want to wish you all a happy rest of your Sunday. And I hope to see you all. I almost said Wednesday. This Wednesday, I will not be able to stream on Wednesday because I don't have anybody to watch my daughter. Both my mother-in-law and my mom are both busy on Wednesday, which like pretty much never happens. It's usually at least one of them is free, which is why I stream on Wednesdays. But this Wednesday is one of very weird Wednesday that they are both busy. But I will stream on Thursday this week instead of Wednesday, because my mom can take her on Thursday. So that way I can make sure that I can stream uninterrupted and all of that jazz. I just know that, like, my daughter has been trying to not nap. I honestly, she didn't nap yesterday. I don't think she napped today. She's been trying to get rid of that nap window. So like a nap stream, like what I originally was doing and have been doing on Sundays. Like it's not going to be a nap stream anymore. It's going to be my husband has to watch her during that time. And during the week, he's working. So I don't have that. And that's where my mom and my mother-in-law come in. So that's why I'll be streaming on Thursday instead of Wednesday this week. I'll probably still stick with that usual window of noon to 2, but just Thursday instead of Wednesday. But have a wonderful, fantastic rest of your Wednesday. Thank you all so much for joining me, and I hope to see you all on Thursday.